Shalom, Akim, all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Kokadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Akim, doing the work in truth and sincerity. Every now and then I come across a video like this, and let me play it.
Everybody who could afford one had a slave, including people of color. The way people talk about slavery these days, you'd think it was a uniquely American thing that we invented in 1619. But slavery throughout history has been the rule, not the exception. The Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Greeks, Romans, the Arabs, British, the early Americans. The word slave comes from Slav, because so many Slavic people were enslaved. Who do you think gathered the slaves from the interior of Africa to sell to slave traders? Africans, who also kept their own slaves. We're a species prone to making others of our species our bitch.
Yeah.
Everybody who could have.
Every now and then you come across a video like this, and this is Esau's attempt at making slavery across the board the same. It's not. What made slavery in America different? Different to the point that they called it chattel slavery. And this is what I typed in. What made chattel slavery different? The racialized system treated people as chattel or property. Chattel slavery defined these human beings as no different than any other piece of property listed on property records. Chattel left the enslaved individual with no ability to refuse, as they were forcibly sold or transferred. Now, of course, you're going to be forcibly sold or transferred. The thing is, slavery did not treat them as human beings over in America. I mean, Esau did way more, such as steal our identity, being one of the more things that they did during this chattel slavery, this property slavery. And then when you go further down, how is chattel slavery different from West African slavery? In contrast to chattel slavery that later developed in the New World, America, an enslaved person in West and Central Africa lived within more flexible kinship group system. A kinship group system. In other words, you're a slave, but you're still a person. You're still a human. These devils did not treat us as humans over here. That's why slavery was so different. So different from all the world. How was Roman slavery different from American slavery? Most slaves during the Roman Empire were foreigners, and unlike in modern times, Roman slavery was not based on race. It was not based on race. It was based on race. It wasn't based on color. Or actually, it was mostly not based on race, but it was based on race because they had the Israelites in indentured servitude. That's what made it a whole lot different. We were treated as a people, the Israelites, in slavery. And we had to pay tribute to the Romans. However, we kept our nationality, and they gave us a sense of being humans, at least of the same species, even though we weren't of the same race. Chattel slavery was completely different. You Edomites, y'all made slavery into a new thing and treated us as such. We were no longer human in your eyes. Your own laws basically prove that. The things you did to us, you separated us from families. You stripped us of our identity, separated us from families, and treated us as less than a man. just to make yourselves feel better. And you still oppress us to this day. You still haven't acknowledged that we're the Israelites. You still treat us as lower class citizens, and so on and so forth. So I wanted to do a video on this because you always get devils like this every now and then that comes up with this great idea. Oh, black people sold black people into slavery, and everybody was a slave at one point. But they don't want to talk about how different slavery was, according to them. I mean, this was preposterous, but there's even worse, you know, postcards during slavery. Let's see what images come up from that. As a matter of fact, this will be even easier. Lynching postcards. I mean, what nation has ever done this? Lynch a few Israelites, and then have your people come around and have a party, a little picnic party. Pick a nigga, hang him from a tree, and have all your people at this social gathering, even kids. Even kids. This was slavery. This was the slavery that y'all did. Hang a man, burn him, and send a postcard to your family. This is what y'all did with slavery. This is what makes it different. Other nations didn't do the brutality to us that y'all did. Other nations at least knew that we were still human, even though we weren't of the same race or nationality. That's what made slavery that y'all did so bad. And of course, I got scriptures to back it up as well. But I wanted to make this very clear to you devils, man. Y'all changed the definition of slavery. Y'all changed the definition of humanity. And that's why you got to pay for it. This is Obadiah chapter 1, starting at 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You ain't going to have no mercy in the end. You're going to be cut off forever after you suffer the same slavery. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, and foreigners entered his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of his distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. Because all the heathen is going to pay. But you devils, y'all got a special payment. It's going to be a little worse than the other heathen. But all of you heathen are going to pay. But you devils, y'all going to pay a little more. For thou hast done, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. And this is why you devils keep coming up with this every now and then. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. All of this, sending postcards, the horrors of lynching. Oh, now it's a horror. But you got your little kids, even your daughters, standing around smiling, happy that you hung a Jake from a tree. Smiling. They don't look horrified. They look happy. Do any of these Edomite kids look horrified while you got a Jake hanging from a tree? No, they look happy. This is just a day in the park for your people. And this is what made slavery so different. This is what made your slavery a lot different from other people's slavery. And yes, you Edomites are getting punished as a whole. Do these look like faces in distress or horrified? And yes, you devils are going to pay for this. This is what you have to look forward to. For the day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done to thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. And that's how you gonna be. All of the things you heathen nations did to us Israelites is coming upon your own head, and it's coming quickly. And this is the last scripture I'm going to bring out. This is James 2:13. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that hath showed no mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment. And as I close, you can ask yourselves, was this mercy? I mean, was it mercy? Because for some reason, you devils, hey, you don't think it's so funny when it's about to happen to you and your children. Now it's a problem. Now it's something horrifying. But when you were doing it, it wasn't so terrible. Because you wasn't thinking about the consequences to your actions. And that's why you can't hardly consider that we, the so-called Negroes, Indians, and Latinos, are the true Israelites. But you see how real it is now that your own nobles are bringing it out. I'm going to leave it there. All praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to you, Akim, doing the work in truth and sincerity. Till the next time, Shalom.